You really don't need me to tell you that 2020 was a weird year. We're a few days into 2021. It's not necessarily looking much better, but hey, at least the music was good in 2020. I'm here today to tell you about some of my favorite stuff. We're going to be covering EPs / mini albums, as well as the songs of the year, and of course, the albums of the year. So we're going to be doing that. We're probably going to be doing it in that order that I just said. I wouldn't call this the best year in music, but it's had some undeniably fantastic releases, so at least there's that. Okay, let's start off with the EP / mini albums chart. We're gonna have 15 of these. So basically I just lumped in all the EPs and the albums that were under 25 minutes because I don't really want to rank those against the full-length albums, which range anywhere from like 30 minutes to multiple hours. Number 15 is, get ready for this one,
Vergangenheitsbewältigung
by Slauson Malone. Number 14 is Unaman Superstar by Drixo Lords. Number 13 is Blood In, Blood Out Mix by Denzel Curry. Number 12 is Bridge to Quiet by Animal Collective. Number 11 is Sling Bomb 1 by Sling Bomb. Terrible marketing, pretty decent music. Number 10 is Honeymoon by Beach Bunny. Number 9 is Pra Começar Bem by Garfo. Really amazing Brazilian folk release from the first day of this year. Number 8 was Sound with a C, One Time in Oblivion by IANO. I don't know what is with the EP chart and having the weirdest names, but hey, this is a pretty cool trance release. I'd recommend checking it out. Number 7 is Kolhaida by Bagdadsky Vor. It's some Russian emo with a bit of screamo elements. If you like screaming and dreaming and I don't know what I'm saying, just check this one out, it's cool. Number 6 is Heaven's Son by Patricia Taxon. I think this is a Hex D release, I don't remember. This is probably my favorite release of hers this year, although I didn't really check out that many, so my bad. Number 5 is EP by JPEG Mafia. JPEG Mafia released a bunch of singles this year and compiled them on this project. You know, it plays like a compilation, but the quality of each track definitely shines through, so I think it's worth putting on here. Number 4 is Mixtape by Bobbing. I discovered this one right at the end of the year, and it's like a really fun little synthy, indie, like pop. Every song is like 1 or 2 minutes. It goes by super quick, but it's nice and funky. I'd recommend it. Almost sounds like a Thundercat tape. If you like Louis Cole, maybe you'll like that. Knower, that kind of stuff. I enjoyed it. Number 3 is Family Pet 09 by J.K. Sims. I discovered this one a bit by accident. It's some really cool kind of psychedelic bedroom pop. There's some glitchy elements. It's very catchy. I enjoyed this one. Number 2 is FXG 3000 by Fax Gang. This one is really good. It is another Surge release. I've had a few Surge releases on the EP chart, but this is probably my favorite Surge project of the year. It just uses the sound so creatively, and in particular, the last track, Jeopardy, is amazing, but I'll talk a little more about that one later. So my best EP / mini album of the year has to be Your Arms Are My Cocoon by the artist of the same name. This is soft screamo, believe it or not. It's a very bizarre sounding combination of genres, but it's done so well, and it's so emotional, and I love the production. It's nice and lo-fi and warm and nice and mellow and soothing, and yet it's screaming. It's very impressive. I highly recommend checking this one out. Let's jump right into the singles because I got a lot of albums to cover and I kind of want to talk about those a lot, so it's going to take me a lot of time. I just want to run through these, you know. And number 20 is Mos Doser by Food House, which is Guppy and Fraxium. I like this better than Dos Moser, but that might be a controversial opinion. Maybe it's just because I heard this one first. Number 19 is Remember Where You Are by Jessie Ware. It's a wonderful way to end the album. Yeah, God. The bass line, the vocals, is just, everything comes together. It's a great dance pop track. 18 is Dancing by Katie Day. More like Katie Gay, am I right? I love this song. Number 17 is Bittersweet by Leanne LaHavis. Wonderful soul song. Number 16 is Jeopardy by Fax Gang. This one is like, oh my god, it's so catchy. It's probably my favorite Hex D song. This is the only one that I've like returned to individually. Legitimately unbelievable, and then at the end, it's just like it breaks down in complete madness and noise, and it's so cool. Oh my god. Number 15 is Pig Feet by Terrace Martin and Denzel Curry, featuring Kamasi Washington, G. Perico, and Daylit. It's so cool and so intense, and all the elements just come together. Really, really powerful song. Number 14 is The Divine Chord by The Avalanches, featuring MGMT and Johnny Marr. Now, I was not expecting this to be the Avalanches song that I put on this list, but it ended up being my favorite, even more than any of the singles that they put out this year. A truly amazing track. Very catchy. Number 13 is Creep You by Black Dresses. Oh my god, this is iconic. This is anthemic. This is the coolest pop song of the year. Not really, there's more, but it's incredibly cool. This is a collaboration between Debbie McCallion and Ada Rook that I'll talk about more soon. Number 12 is Désolé, the extended version by Gorillaz. It was a close call, but this has to be my favorite single that Gorillaz put out this year. Not only my favorite single, but also my favorite music video. Number 11 is Sunblind by Fleet Foxes. Very, very powerful way to start the album, right after the intro especially. It's a great tribute to a bunch of artists that have passed away recently. Number 10 is Gospel for a New Century by Eves Tumor. Gotta be my favorite opening track of the year, without a doubt. Number 9 is Lockdown by Anderson .Paak. This has got to be my favorite political song of the year. Honestly, every single line hits home. It's very topical. It's very cool. It's also unreasonably catchy. Like a song like this should not be this funky. Number 8 is On the Floor by Perfume Genius. I don't even know how to describe this one. It's just a wonderful pop song. The guy, I don't remember his name, like Hadrius, he does it again, you know? Number 7 is The Ascension by Sufjan Stevens. This is the title track of his new record, which I will be talking about soon. This is honestly gotta be like up there with one of my favorite Sufjan tracks. The writing is magnificent, and it really makes the entire concept of the album come together as a whole, and I think that's what a good title track should probably do. Number 6 is Forever by Charlie XCX. I was never into Charlie XCX before this, but then this hit, and I don't know if it was just quarantine or something, but this would not leave my head for like months until the album finally came out. It's very catchy, and it's got this weird like noise element in the background. The percussion is like bizarre. It's so strange, but it's also amazing. Number 5 is Bald by JPEG Mafia. This is the first single he put out this year, and it's gotta be the best. Oh my god. Everything about it is unbelievable. The beat is so psychedelic and surreal. It's like swirling, and it's actually fascinating, and he works so well over it. It's totally just a victory lap. After releasing like one of the best albums last year, he just comes in and drops one of the best songs this year. Number 4 is Graphic Bleeds Out by Quality Chris and Chris Keys, featuring Meryl Garbus and Melanie St. Charles. That's a lot of names, but what you need to know about this song is it's beautiful, it's blissful, it's lush. It is such a good song. I don't think I would call it a hip-hop song. It's more of a soul song because it just has this breakdown in the middle, and it has just these beautiful solo performances. You have to experience this beat for yourself. The pianos are gorgeous. The way it breaks into this orchestral swell, it's... Number 3 is Luna Amplified by Weatherday. Now I know this is but a demo, but a glimpse of what's to come from Weatherday, and I'll be talking more about that soon, but hey, this song is like really cool. I wouldn't blame you if you missed it this year. It released in March on a charity compilation, but it is seriously very cool. I would recommend you check it out. Number 2 is Anything by Adrienne Lanker. I don't know what else there is to say besides this is just like the perfect folk song, so. And then number 1 is I Know the End by Phoebe Bridgers. I was thinking about it. I don't think anything can really capture the year in song for me like this. This song is about the apocalypse. Probably not literally, but it does a good job of being about that, especially in the context of 2020. The way it builds up into this crazy orchestra and the scream, obviously, and the horns. It really, it's an amazing closing track. Yeah, that's all I can say. Song of the Year 2020 is I Know the End by Phoebe Bridgers, without a doubt. All right, get ready for the top 50 albums of 2020 coming at you right now. Number 50, we're starting this list off right. It's Doin' Fine with the album Twinks Going to Hell for Being Twinks. Honestly, I don't even know how to describe this one. Just if the title interests you, then you'll probably enjoy it. Number 49 is Anthony One, Sienna Sleep, and Exodia's collaborative record, Adoravia. Cool Hexty release. Number 48 is Father with Residue, cool Vaporwave release. Number 47 is Marjorie W.C. Sinclair by Housepet. This is a weird, cool hip-hop album. It's like really out there. All the songs are really short, but I liked it. The one after that is Set My Heart on Fire Immediately by Perfume Genius. This one isn't that consistent, unfortunately, so it's not higher on the list, but I do love a lot of the moments on here. 45 is Soak by Guitar Fight from Fully Cooley. Yeah, that's a band name. It definitely is a band name. It's cool emo. Number 44 is KG by King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. The Boys Are Back. Number 43, Melee by Dogleg. Another cool emo album. This one's a little more basic, but I like it more. Number 42 is Manger on McNichols by Sterling Tolles and Boldy James. I think Boldy James is the rapper, Sterling Tolles is the producer. This is a cool one. I didn't hear it until the very end of the year, but it was definitely worth it. Number 41 is Face Down in Meta by Pet Shimmers. A lot of people compare this to Sweet Trip. I think this one's a little more psychedelic, but if you want some good electronic-based indie rock, kind of more in the pop direction, the next one is Fly Sifu by Pink Sifu and Fly Anakin. This is a really cool one, if just for the concept alone, like the whole thing about being in a record shop. I really like that idea, and it's also amazing hip-hop, so that helps. Number 39 is Magic One Tricks Point Never by One Tricks Point Never. Number 38 is Bedbug with the album Lifelike Moving Pictures. Number 37 is Brass by Moore Mother and Billy Woods. This is incredible. I can't wait to sink my teeth more into it. This came out pretty late in the year, but it's fascinating. Number 36 is Eve's Tumor, Heaven to a Tortured Mind. Unfortunately, I do think the singles were by far the best tracks on here, but it was still pretty good. Number 35 is Charmed by DJ Sabrina the Teenage DJ. I don't know who this person is. They just keep making like a very long house album like every single year. This would probably be higher on the list if I had time to listen to it. This is a 3-hour album. Number after that is Palimpsest by Lauren Bousfield. If you like your pop glitchy, this one's for you. Number 33 is What's Your Pleasure by Jessie Ware. Number 32 is Instrumentals by Adrian Linker. It makes for a cool companion piece to her other album, which I will be talking about. Number 31 is Man Alive by King Cruel. I think in the end, I don't like this one as much as the Ooze, but in a lot of ways, I feel like it is more refined, so I definitely appreciate it for that. I like a lot of the songs on here too. Number 30 has gotta be Beats for Nice Guys by 610 Machado. This is an album by a friend of mine. It's sort of like a mix between some indie pop elements, but also a lot of instrumental hip hop stuff. It goes through a lot of varied stuff. It ends with a bedroom pop song, followed directly by this weird experimental ambient piece. A lot of great artists worked on this one, so don't miss it. Number 29 is the biggest disappointment of the year. It's gotta be The Ascension by Sufjan Stevens. I hate to say it, but I don't think Whole Lotta Red was as big a disappointment as The Ascension, because I wasn't expecting that much from Playboi Carti. I was expecting that much from Sufjan Stevens. Possibly too much. In fact, definitely too much. I'm not gonna lie, my expectations for this one were absolutely astronomical, and a couple of the songs delivered, but a lot of them really didn't. It's not that consistent. But the fact that it's still number 29, you can tell that I still very much enjoyed this. Number 28 is Metamorph by Say Lock He, aka Coinlocker Kid. A lot of it is about the relationship between the art and the artist and trying to follow up your old stuff and trying to reflect on that and reacting to how people react to it. It's very cool stuff, very meta, very long. Number 27 is Debbie McCallion and Katie Day's Magic, Fire, Rain. This is a cool little collaboration album that released later in the year. I think in a lot of ways this is a victory lap for both of the artists who released some of their best material earlier. Number 26 is Yukika's Soul Lady. This is K-pop. I don't listen to much K-pop, but I really like this, so maybe I should get more into it. The one after that is Visions of Bodies. The one after that is Visions of Bodies Being Burned by Clipping. At first I was thinking I wasn't going to like it as much as their last one. Although I think the other one has higher points, this one is definitely more consistent. Like, there really isn't a song in here that I would cut, unlike the last one where there was a couple, I think, weak spots or maybe just experiments that didn't necessarily pan out as well. Number 24 is Ichigo Aoba's album Adan no Kaze. What can I say? This is just good folk. It's more stuff from Ichigo that is incredibly soothing and nice, but it is in a new direction. There's a lot more varied in terms of the instruments, which is pretty cool. It's definitely a new direction, but I think if you like the old Ichigo, there's still a lot to love here. But I think if you like the old Ichigo, you'll definitely still love everything that she's doing here. Number 23 is Pixel Bath by Gene Dawson. If you like sort of indie pop stuff that jumps around genres a lot, think Kevin Abstract's American Boyfriend, you will probably enjoy this release. It's very cool. Number 22 is Dan Deacon's Mystic Familiar. This is a little psychedelic thing with a bunch of electronic elements. If some of the stuff, it feels like you're like in an ocean of synth. I think that was definitely the intended effect. Very, very nice, very nice. Number 21. This album came out super late in the year. I don't think it's the one that came out latest in the year. I think that honor goes to Residue by Father. But this one came out pretty darn late. It's Vice Versa and Such Things by Avenade. I don't usually vibe with noise rock all that much, but this one is really cool. Number 20. Okay, we're getting into the top 20. We're almost done. Is Brat by Namdi. Very cool genre blending. It goes from folk to sometimes hip-hop to just straight-up pop. It's really great stuff. Number 19 is How I'm Feeling Now by Charlie XCX. Oh my goodness. Oh, this sure was a quarantine album. Number 18 is Song Machine Season 1 Strange Times by Gorillaz. This is more of a compilation than anything of all the singles that they released this year. I still think it works amazing as a album release. Number 17 is Fetch the Bolt Cutters by Fiona Apple. This one is cool. I liked the hype. I like her other one better, but this one's cool too. It's very powerful. The number after that, number 16, is Food House Self-Titled by it says Food House, but it is Guppy and Fraxium. I'm not the most familiar with hyperpop, but this vibes with me. I'm not that big of a fan of 100 Gex, but this is cool. Number 15 is My Data by Katie Day. I like it. I liked it more. It's grown off me a little bit. It's still an amazing pop album from Katie Day. Katie Gay, very gay. Number 14 is Pink, Orange, and Black in the Corners by Lobster Fight. That's close enough. This is really cool. Please support this artist. If you like Brave Little Abacus, you'll probably like this. If you don't, I honestly don't know. This is real, rough, crazy emo stuff. Very experimental, very out there. It incorporates a lot of electronic elements. Please do consider supporting the artist. I feel bad because I got a hand-painted cassette from them, and I paid them $6, and I looked on the postage, it costed $4 to ship, so they only made $2 profit from that, not even considering the cassette. So I've bought their album digitally since, but you should do the same, because yeah. Number 13 is Peaceful as Hell by Black Dresses. Oh my lord. If you don't like this album, you're a dummy. This is an incredible, well, it's a pop album first of all, but it has a lot of crazy, like harder elements to it. It's very cool. I love the songwriting. Number 12, We Will Always Love You by the Avalanches. It feels surreal that this album actually released. It's the singles have been dropping since February. I don't even remember February. What is February? Like what do you mean? It's been so long, and it finally released, and it was actually really good, and I'm very happy about that. Number 11 is Purple Moonlight Pages by Rory, Alan, Philip Ferreira, and the Jefferson Park Boys. Rory Ferreira, aka Black Orpheus, FKA Milo. This is definitely his most ambitious project yet. He enlisted the help of 3 producers for this one. It is crazy. It is like 18 tracks long. It is a true demonstration of his abilities, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future. We already got a new album from him this year, so that's pretty cool. Number 10. I'm really tired, guys, but we're in the top 10. We're in the top 10 now. It's fine. Number 10 is Shore by Fleet Foxes. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. On a technical level, this is a disappointment, but it is also one of my favorite records of the year. So that's how you can tell how high my expectations were. They went in a more pop direction, which is okay. I love it. I love this album. Their previous album from 2017 is one of my favorite pieces of music ever, so obviously it would be pretty hard to top that. They aren't quite as ambitious this time around. This time they sort of just made 15 really cool pop songs. This is still a really cool melding of like folk and indie rock and stuff like that. And let me just say, the intro is like unbelievable, and the last like third of it is also really cool. Number 9 is Ultimate Success Today by Proto Martyr. I did not know about these guys at all before this album released, but I listened to it. I listened to their 2017 album, which is amazing. This one's amazing too. Very political kind of post-punk type stuff. It's angry boys shouting about stuff, but they're not really shouting. Number 8 is Clopel Gag. Let's see if I can remember this album title.
Notre Dame des Sept Dollars.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what anything on this album means because it is in French. She is a French-Canadian artist who I only heard about this year, but I went back and I checked out her other stuff. Her album from 2016 is now one of my favorite things ever. This one took a little bit longer to click with me, but oh my lord, it's amazing. Number 7 is No Dream by Jeff Rosenstock. So for a while, I think this was my favorite record of the year. It's since dropped a little bit. It is still an amazing addition to Jeff Rosenstock's ever-growing discography of borderline masterpieces. This really came out right when I needed it. It's actually kind of a miracle because, you know, Jeff Rosenstock was going through his existential crisis when this was being recorded. Then when he released it, everybody else was going through an existential crisis as well. Number 6 is 7G by A.G. Cook. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should have placed this one at 7, but hey, this is a really cool septuple album by A.G. Cook, founder of PC Music. But anyways, this one is, yes, an album with 7 distinct discs, each with 7 songs. Each of the albums here are, I think, made with a different certain element as a starting point in mind, and you can definitely see that. It is 2 hours of, well, it actually depends a lot. Some of it is IDM, some of it is hyperpop, some of it is covers of other songs in like weird ways. There's a lot to enjoy here. It is very long. It is a barrage, but I probably could not name a single song on here individually, but it is a wonderful experience as a whole. Oh, we're in the top 5. Oh my god. Number 5 is Leanne LaHavis's self-titled record. God, I was not expecting this one to just sweep me off my feet, but it is such a good soul record. Everything about it is like perfectly placed and perfectly produced. I'm really looking forward to what Leanne LaHavis does next. She is an amazing songwriter, and she has a wonderful voice. Number 4 is Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. Oh goodness. This is just solid indie folk. I don't know what to say. What really makes this album something special is a combination of Phoebe Bridgers' incredibly memorable writing. Like, there's so many quotable lines on here, as well as the way these tracks progress and change. Like, a lot of them start out little folk songs, and then by the end, you're just like screaming, and it's crazy. It's wonderful, especially at the end. Like, oh my God. I don't think, unfortunately, it's not entirely consistent. I think it could benefit from a better sequencing, maybe. Particularly, I think tracks 3 and 4 are placed in such a way, they're both mellow, they're good, but they're mellow, and they cause the album to lose a bit of momentum, especially after the opening moments, especially Kyoto. Oh my God, I love that song. It's almost as good as I Know the End. It's a crazy cool rock song. Number 3 is Innocent Country 2 by Quale Chris and Chris Keys. Okay, so Quale Chris has released an album pretty much every year for like at least since 2017. I don't even know when he first started. I've been listening to him for a couple years. Wow, I was not expecting this to be my favorite album of his, but good Lord, it seriously is. And a lot of that is due to the production. It is absolutely heavenly. It's very dynamic, but it incorporates a lot of piano in particular in order to make it an incredibly intricate and lush release. It is so comforting. It is so warm. There's so many amazing guests on it, and the last half of this album is just unbelievable. The ending moments going from Graphic Bleeds Out, which is one of my favorite songs of the year, Mirage, which is also one of my favorite songs of the year. It's basically like an abstract hip-hop posse cut with Earl Sweatshirt and some other people. It is such a good way to close the album. Number 2, Microphones in 2020 by The Microphones. Alright, this one, I'm happy to say, did not disappoint me. Microphones in 2020, I'm happy to say it, it did not disappoint me. Somehow, it blew me away completely. It's honestly a little bit distinct from almost anything else on this list because I would never listen to this one just as music. I listen to it as a story because it is such a good story. It is basically a reflection on Phil Elverum, who is the main guy behind The Microphones, basically a reflection of his past over pretty much like the same guitar chords over and over again, which might not sound that appealing, but trust me, it is. There's a lot of varied stuff in there. A true marvelous feat. Absolutely gorgeous. I love everything about this one. Watch the movie with the pictures being put down if you haven't. That's a really cool one. It's up on YouTube. Go watch that. And my favorite album of the year is going to be Songs by Adrienne Lenker. I think I described Anything as like the perfect folk song earlier. This is essentially the perfect folk album. Like, there's really barely any like bad moments here. It's just Adrienne Lenker and a guitar. It is so like instrumentally sparse, and yet it never lets go of my attention. Though I didn't hear it during like the first part of the quarantine, this definitely was influenced by the sort of situation. It was recorded in a cabin in March and April and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure. And a lot of the album seems to revolve around loneliness. If you want the complete experience for this one, you gotta check out both songs and instrumentals. It's cool when you listen to it together, but songs is just such a perfect piece of music. And by the way, I just so happened to notice that there was a Japanese bonus track for this song floating out there. Was not actually on the internet, so I decided to import the CD from Japan and rip the song and put it on the internet, and I did that, and it's called Red Leaves Falling. If you want to check that out, probably link in the description. I think it's pretty cool. It's also, I think, the only instance of another like instrument or sound being on this album besides Adrienne and her guitar. There's like a weird lo-fi, I think it might be a sample of a violin or something. But anyways, if you want to check that out, it's pretty cool. I don't know if this is just a trend with my favorite albums of the year, importing CD from Japan to find a bonus track. That happened with 2018 as well, so I don't know. I didn't make a list last year because I'm lazy, but I did make one this year, so I'm cool again. Let me know if I should make lists for the years that I didn't cover, because I'm actually kind of down to do that, honestly. Thank you for watching. My name is Millie. Subscribe, please, please subscribe, please subscribe.